Why, many people watching the championship playoff final. We were there this time last year, and look what happened to us. We were a bag of shit. So I thought I'd go live today. While everybody's doing that, I'm gonna take the cat for a walk. This is my mate Tubbs. We're gonna go for a walk. So while I'm talking to you, there's not many people around. Just gonna put his little harness on, like you do. Put his little harness on. At the moment, there's no one there. Actually, I've got a viewer. So we got a viewer, mate. So we've got his little thing on. We're gonna go out for a walk, aren't we? Gonna go for a walk. So don't know what it's gonna be like out here. Been raining today. No one in. Let's go over here. There you go, mate. You can go there. So, don't know who's watching. Claire, hello. How you doing, Claire? Yeah, beer. I'm not having any beer today. Well, maybe later. Maybe, maybe like we got a message help for review. This is new for me. Someone who doesn't like me much. Let's have a look at the message. It's not going to come up. Yes, yeah, it is. He's all right, Tubbs. I'll tell you what, Simo. Tubbs is a lovely lad. He is. He's a lovely cat. He's the best behaved cat I think I've ever had. And I thought, it's miserable, is it, mate? Oh, no, it's been raining a little bit. We've kind of like cleared up a bit. I thought, wow, let's do a live one while everybody's watching the championship playoff. Saints have just announced a new manager, which I'm quite excited about, to be honest. One thing you can say about our club, it's always been there's always been something unusual going on at our club, but to be honest, I'm quite excited about having Will Steele as a manager. It can't get any worse, to be honest, what it has been. So, yeah, one thing you can say about Southampton Football Club is that we are a great opportunity for a young manager. I've always said that. I've always said we're a great club, low expectation, great fan base, a great opportunity for a manager to come in and put his mark and grow as a manager. So yeah, great appointment I think by the club. Um, so yeah, it's been raining since 9 p.m. last night. We've been quite lucky up here because obviously I live in the country, and when you live in the country, you tend to not get much. You tend to get not much rain, to be honest. Where I am, being where I am, being up north. Um, Crikey, I've got 12 people watching me. I haven't even touched a drop. So the cat, I don't know if you can see the cat. He's down there. He's sitting. He's sitting. He's sitting on his own in the garden, like you do. Just kind of like taking it easy. Uh, so I got back from Spain last week. Had a brilliant time out in Spain. Uh, it's a fantastic country, and I'll be honest with you. I don't know why people look down. Oh, someone scored. Someone scored. Something's come up. I take it Sheffield United scored. I think so. By the sounds of it. Yeah, it's a fantastic country, Spain. Drunk a lot of beer out there. Went around all these kind of like Belgian bars, and to be honest, some of the beer's been absolutely fantastic. Um, then, like I usually do when I go abroad, I tend to kind of like go to the off licenses, much to Mrs. B's kind of like annoyance. I go to the off licenses and pick up some pick up some beers and get a little bit over obsessed by it, to be honest. A lot of it's a load of shite, but now and again you tend to get some beers which are tend to be not bad. And Dean's. Hello, Dean, mate. How you doing? Yeah, I've been back a week. Already set up another trip out in September, October, off to Croatia. First time for me going to Croatia. I've already started to Google different beers in Croatia, different stores and supermarkets in Croatia to get some cheap beers. So hopefully the bathroom will be quite good wherever we're staying. Mrs. B's got it dead cheap, so she's got it under, I think, seriously, just over 500 quid for 7 days for two of us. So I'm expecting to be staying in some old chicken shack in the back of a farmyard somewhere in Croatia. So I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, Spain. There's some stuff. Well, the thing is, I like to do when I put stuff on when I go abroad. I'd like to get as much as I can while I'm out there. It's a bit nerdy, and some people think it's a little bit sad putting stuff on the internet from when you're on holiday. But to be honest with you, it's what I like to do. And there's some stuff that haven't been able to put on. We visited a couple of breweries over there. I went to Victoria Brewery, which is situated between Malaga and Torremolinos, which I regret not getting anything from. Great brewery. Square Table Degenerates says, you have been to Malaga. It is. It's a. Yeah, I mean, like I say, I mean, there's lots of things to Spain than just the Costas. You know, I managed to catch you live for once. Big Phil Act, Big Phil Acton. I'll tell you what, that's a name and a half, isn't it? Hope you're well, bud. Quick question: did you have any of the Spanish brews which you've had here in Spain? No, I didn't. I'll be honest with you, Phil. When I go abroad, I tend to try and get stuff which I can only get abroad. I mean, when I go to the shops and that, there's always a San Miguel's and everything like that. But there's variations of certain beers which you can see abroad, which you don't get over here. The Cruz Campo is a kind of like example. There's so many variations of Cruz Campo over there, and I've always kind of like gone for stuff which unusual. If I go to a different city, if I go to a different town, if I hear there's a brewery there, I would try and get something around that town and just review it, even if it's just one beer. I find it exciting to do that, to pick up a beer with no thought or any type of perception of the brewery or any knowledge of the brewery, and just to taste the beer. And I think I've done one which has come up today, which a beer from Cordoba, and it was different, totally different. I couldn't even really describe it properly, but it was a different beer, and I love doing that. I was there 2006. There's an Air Force base 25 outside Sevilla. I didn't go as far as Seville. More on there. Mar Air base. Yeah, fair point. I'll do the same. Yeah, I've written a post, one of your vids about Cruz Campo, how in Seville it was amazing, in cold, rainy Manchester. Yeah, I think that's the bottom line. I think you'd kind of like nailed it there. When you get Spanish beer over there, it's like nectar. When you get Spanish beer here, it's a total different kettle of fish. It's not what it's supposed to do here, is it? I think Spanish beer is to, you know, to quench your thirst in the sun, um, irrespective of any taste notes or whatever you can get out of it. And of course, when you have it back here, it's just seen as a, I don't know, it's just seen as a second-rate beer in in general. Dean says that's what it's all about. Trying to, it is, it is. That's what I find exciting. When I went to Girona last year, um, first thing I do when I go to a new city in a new country in a new place, look for the local beer. Just even if I can get a one bottle or anything, just look for the beer and review it. And I know it's a bit sad, but it does tell you a lot about, when you review a beer, there's different taste notes. When I was in Crete, you pick up a beer, a local beer, and it's totally different to a normal generic, macro beer, which is kind of like labelled as a Greek beer. I saw the 2006 World Cup final, and that was one of the funniest times I've had in my life. But Square yeah, it's a great city. Loved it there. Proper nice people. I know Seville is on our bucket list. I know that Leeds Bradford are doing flights to Seville. They've just recently announced that, so I wouldn't mind going to Seville for to see what it's like. I find the culture of Spain and the culture of lots of countries fascinating, to be honest. I just find, people will go on holiday abroad just to sit in a hotel, sit by the pool, and not really look what's around them or look where they've landed. I find it a little bit, what's the point in doing it? You could just sit in the garden in the summer back in England and lie in the sun and not really kind of like care. And sometimes you do get the impression people just go over there for the sake of it. For me, I need to go over and have a, get to know some people, get to know Spanish people, wherever I go, Greek people even, just to get to know them and just to get to know a little bit of the area, a little bit of their history, and start to really find out a lot more about them than just lying on the sunbed looking at the sky. Um, yeah, Portugal's amazing. I have to say, Madeira. I went a couple of years ago. I did some videos on here. Was amazing. I do recommend it. Uh, Square Table says, I like the beaches, the chicks, and taking off the tops. That's all right. Lagos, they had a booze cruise. Yeah, I mean, I'm all for that, having fun and that, God, I feel, you know what? I sometimes sound like an old fart when I go on about, you know, going out for a strut and everything and going out into the, I should be going on booze cruises and drinking Madri and getting absolutely drunk and that. Maybe 20 years ago, not for me now. Not for me now. Saying that though, the Spanish bathroom review is always a good laugh. Especially whenever I go and do them. There's always a glass there which basically is intended for your false teeth, and I always use it. I have a whole paper with this stuff. I need to show you the Yeah, you go for it, mate. You go for it. Anyway, yeah, I've always done stuff like that. Every time I go abroad, always do kind of like beer reviews abroad, and even if I can't kind of like upload it out there, I tend to keep them and bung them up when I get home. And yeah, it's been a good trip this time. It's been a good trip. Might be the last time I go out there. I feel like I need to go to different places and that. And Yeah, the bathroom reviews, Dean, are classics. They are. I tend to do them in the afternoon. so, so what happens in the morning, because I'm an early bird, I get up at early hours. We get out, we go out and explore all over and everything, or even if it's just going to the next town, going up all over. We'll get back, and Mrs. B, oh, I want to go for a swim. You go for a swim. So I've got a couple of hours to kill, and I tend to, whatever I've picked up while I'm out in the morning, I tend to come on review in the bathroom. But like I say, those glasses, I think they're meant for full Steve, not for beer. I went to a trip to Seville. It was cheap. I went for another place in Spain. It was expensive. That was the Madeira trip. It was that Madeira trip. Madeira's Portugal. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I think Spain is as popular as what it's ever been. Um, and I think for me, if the longer you leave it to the time you want to go away, the better the deal you get. Um, Definitely, I think that's one thing which we've learned over time is not to actually pre-book anything. Don't book anything with a tour operator that you're gonna go away in about 8 months' time. Tend to kind of like, yeah, save your money up and book some holiday off work or whatever. Then about a week before, look on the websites, and if you've got the money there, just bang it onto the trip, and you tend to get a really good deal, whether it's kind of like a cancellation or anything. We've always found that was the best thing to do. Um, Sometimes if you have an affinity with a place and you want to go back to a place and you want to make sure you get to the place, sometimes it's best to pre-book in advance, which we have done for next year. We're going back to Crete, but if it's a place or a holiday which you don't really have any affinity with and you want to get away, just wait till a week or 2 weeks before you're on holiday from work and look for a good deal. They do exist. They do exist. Maybe maybe not as cheap as what you want them to be, but they do exist. For me, I think Hayes Travel has always been a good travel agent. Um, TUI, yeah, TUI's been okay. Jet2's not bad. For me, Hayes Travel. If you still like to go into a good old fashioned travel agent on the high street and still have that personal touch of being served by somebody, and have them to do all the work for you and have them to do all the printing out for the tickets and everything. Hayes Travel are fantastic. Um, Sometimes with technology and the way it goes, you lose some of that personal touch regarding checking in and stuff. And for me, I don't like that. I still like to have somebody at the end of a counter to check your bags in, to check your seats in and everything. I think the way we are going as people, as humanity, getting more and more reliant on technology, I don't think it's a good thing in a way where we just reliant on technology regarding travelling. Dean says, didn't Hayes buy out? Yeah, he did. Yeah, they did. They did. They bought out a lot of the Thomas Cook shops. Um, Someone told me Thomas Cook was still going in some sort of form, whether if it's just selling holidays online or not. Um, I think they're still going. Um, but again, Thomas Cook were great. Monarch, if you remember Monarch Airlines, they weren't bad either. I just find it strange that a country of this size and this amount of population, we're just relying on Jet2 and TUI to get us over to Spain, and maybe EasyJet if you want a Ryanair as a as a carrier. But for holidays themselves, package holidays, you're really only relying on two companies, TUI and Jet2, to be honest. Because if you go to other companies, smaller companies, they tend to do it through TUI and Jet2 anyway. Down there could smoke at the back, yeah. Yeah, definitely. But no, it's great to get out and to and to meet people and wherever you go to. Like I say, there's more to the Costa del Sol than just hotels and beaches and fake towns and shitty bars playing shitty music. You get underneath it all and you start to meet the people who live there. You have a really good understanding of life, what life is really like out there. And we went to Malaga. I've been to Malaga loads of times. It's a fantastic city, and you know, when you get underneath the tourism aspect and you start to, have a look around the place properly, it's fantastic. It's so well cultured. It's totally different to what we are over here. The biggest thing what really kind of like was the difference to me when I went to Spain was you go down the high street in Spain, Malaga, don't matter where you are, Malaga, Fuengirola, wherever. There's never any empty shops, and the shops are full. The shops are different. Haven't got the same shops. They're all different, and it takes me back to the 80s and the 70s when I was a child going into the town centre. There's shops everywhere. There were different shops doing different things, and when I come back to this country, it feels like you've lost it. It feels like you've lost a bit of that commercialism, if you want to call it. It just feels like that we're kind of like, it feels like we're stuck in our houses ordering off Amazon all the time. It does. It does. It feels, just use the internet. And I just feel that going back abroad, going back in time to what we were 10, 20 years ago. Slurpy Dave, slurp. What you drinking, Slurpy? I haven't got a clue what's going on in the football. I thought I'd just take the cat out for a walk. I'll show you the cat. There he is. There he is. Say hello. You down there? Bubs. I don't know what the signal is. I'm sitting in the garden, Dave. I've got kind of like artificial lawn down, and we got one of these fountains in the garden. Got one of these fountains in the garden, and I just kind of like started. It's a solar fountain, and I'm just unraveling it. I'm just taking the cat's going for a walk now. Cat's going for a walk. Don't know if you can see him. He is. He's going for a walk. And you, mate. Come on. He's going for a walk. We've got helicopter coming over. Police helicopter. Don't know what it is. Anyway. He just sits there, really. I don't know what my signal is. If I'm breaking up, I do apologise. But there he is. Hey, you, mate. Say hello. Don't want to say hello to me either. Don't want to say hello to me. Yeah, so basically, I just thought I'd do a live one. Not a lot going on, really. Tend to do a little walking video on the weekend, but to be honest, Terence the Bull's kind of like being a bit of a plonker at the moment. I don't know if anybody knows why I called him Terence the Bull. It's after a Pompey TikToker down south called Terence Carvalho. Cracking lad. I do like him. He's a good lad, but he's a Pompey supporter, so I've named a bull after him. TT races on the horizon, so I'll be on Butch's Piston Boulay. Yeah, the TT races. Rather you than me, mate. I mean, the TT races. I mean, I've watched highlights of that, and I'll tell you what, you need balls of steel to do that, and yeah. But kudos to all the lads who are doing that there on their bikes. I wouldn't do it. Wouldn't get me doing that. Never been to the Isle of Man. I did have a cousin who did stuff like that. Yeah, TT races. Good on ya. Butchie's Piston Brew. Cast Brown House sounds great. That sounds alright. So, anybody drinking any beer? Anybody watching the playoff final? I think I need to go back in. I'll still keep talking to you because Tubbs is wanting to go in. You want to go in, mate? Come on then, mate. Tubbs is going in. Come on, mate. Let's go in. Let's go in. Tubbs has gone in. It's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I might stay on for half an hour. I'm just gonna take his little thing off. There he is. That's his thing. That's his. See that? That's his little harness. So he's gonna sit on his chair because he's a good boy. Make sure I put the screen across. I made a screen for the door. You see. So back in. He's looking at me, Tubbs. Yeah, you wanted to come in, mate. So anyway, let's see what we got. Yeah, TT races. Yeah, like I say, stop licking yourself. Haven't managed to get many beers actually. I've got a few up in the back room, but to be honest, this year's been a bit funny. I haven't won you up to the Blades. Oh well, like the Mackhams are gonna lose then. It's funny, I haven't really been getting a lot of beers in. I know I need to get the Home Bargains because I know Home Bargains have got a nitro stout in, and I've just found out today that Aldi have got some sort of nitro stout in too. I think it's called Mulligan's or something. Let us know in the comments if you've had it. But really, beer wise, apart from being abroad, I haven't really spent much this year on beer, to be honest. There's a couple of beers I've seen online which I fancy. The Verdant track collaboration looks really good. The Flux beers. I haven't got a clue how much they are. There are 3 beers. There's a Pale Ale, IPA, and I think there's a Dipper. I haven't got a clue how much they are. Tell me in the comments how much they are. I haven't seen any bottle shops or anything like that. They're supposed to be really good. I like Verdant Brewery. Who doesn't like Verdant Brewery? They are a great brewery. And Track as well. So 2 great breweries collabing there. The beer should be really, really good. But I don't really want to spend a huge amount of money. Yes, there is, Dean. The Badger beer out, Cherry Mart. It's in Tesco now, actually. I haven't been able to get the Tesco. I thought maybe you could go. No, if you could get the Tesco, mate, if you've got it, give it a go. I've also heard Double Diamond is in Tesco in can, but I could be wrong. And Double Diamond is relatively low in ABV as well, but I could be wrong. This is what I've read. I think it's only about 2.5–3% ABV Double Diamond. It's in can. Someone mentioned to me it's in Tesco. I've never seen it in Tesco. If it's in your Tesco, mate. Oh, Raggy did it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'll give it a go because I like who doesn't like a bit of Badger. I mean, Badger's been a constant in everyone's beer channel, hasn't it, over the years? There's been some great Badger beers, to be honest. Poacher's Choice was a good one, if I remember. It's Poacher's Choice. That was the if I remember, Poacher's Choice was the fruity berry one. If I remember, there Blandford Flyer. That was the ginger one, wasn't it? Then you had Thirsty Ferret. Hopping Hare was a cracker. I remember that one. But the thing what puts me over about Badger was the clear bottles. I think for me, the clear the clear bottles was always something which was a put off, I suppose. And you could say the same for Green King. They had the clear bottles, and who else had the clear bottles? Um, oh, who had the clear bottles? Brains, SA Gold and that. Yeah, I remember them. You know, beer is beer. If it's good tasting beer and it's only a couple of quid, you know, why not? You know, um, it's nice to do supermarket ales. It is. It's kind of like takes you back to when you first did it. Allsops are brewing Double Diamond, calling it Slurpee. Big Phil Actung says, "How far? I'm in North Yorkshire, Big Phil. I am on the edge of the Yorkshire Dales. Yorkshire Dales, just over there, about 10-minute drive. I am about 25-minute drive from the highest pub in the UK, Tanhill Inn, which is right over there. Now, Tanhill Inn is the pub which they use for Everest adverts back in the 80s. You know, I remember, I can't remember the bloke who did the Everest ads in the pub. He used to have, he had the, you know, he had the wind, he had the feather. He was in the pub. He used to drop the feather. Your feather used, if you remember that. Anyway, yeah, the Tanhill pub, which is about 25 minutes for me. And to be honest, to get to it, you got to go through nowhere. You really need to drive through the middle of nowhere to get to it. But it's once you get there, it's cracking. It's good live music venue as well. Um, yeah, I do wind trumps. Or is that Northern South? Yeah, Northern South. Yeah, the reason why I call myself Northern Southerner is because I'm actually Southern. I actually come from Eastbourne, which is near Brighton. I spent a little bit of my life in Southampton, and I moved north. And of course, I support Southampton, and it's not a great thing to be proud of, but you know that's the way it goes. Got to stick with your football club through the bad times and good, but believe you me, it's more bad than good. So yeah, yeah. So I'm up north. I love it up north. I love the beer. I love the food. I love the people. Yeah, basically, yeah. I'm more southern, but I'm more northern at the same time. But the food and you know the crack up north is always good. That's why I like it up here. You know, proper Yorkshire puddings and Yorkshire food is fantastic. Proper Yorkshire beer is fantastic. And be honest with you, the amount of breweries I have in Yorkshire, I wouldn't rather be anywhere else. To be honest, I wouldn't rather be anywhere else because you know there's some great places up here. Um, definitely. So, anybody drinking anything? What time is it? Oh, I've got about half. I'll give it. I'll stay on for another half hour. Um, yeah, I can't pour. You know what, Slurpee? I can't pour a beer to save my life. Absolutely can't. Every time I do a review, I can't pour a beer to save my life. I'm absolutely shit, you know. And I've had enough bloody opportunities to give it a go. Slurpee, I'm just outside the Yorkshire Dales, towards Richmond Way. Um, I'm about, like I say, 25 minutes from Tanhill, about 25 minutes from Leyburn. Um, I'm near the A1. Um, some good places around, but I don't mind a fullest London Pride. You know what? I mean, I've just noticed that there's a plethora of reviews on London Pride on the perfect draft. I mean, for me, whenever I've had London Pride in a pub on cask, it's been like dishwater. But when I've had it in the can or in the bottle, it's been great. It's weird, isn't it? You know the area, Slurpee. It's a great area. You know, I'm not for that far from Massam, Black Sheep, and Featstons and stuff. Yeah, it's a good old school area. I love it. I love it. Northallerton's over there somewhere. Darlington's over there, but there's nothing really in Darlington apart from There's nothing in Darling apart from tattooists and sex shops. You go to Northallerton, great little market town. Yeah, yeah, it does. Yeah, I think London Pride for me. I haven't had it for a very long time. That's an idea to do a re-review of London Pride. I might actually try that and some Fuller's beers. Someone told me they discontinued Bengal Lancer. That was a great little beer. That Bengal Lancer. I remember that. That was a good IPA. I do like Fuller's. Out of the traditional London breweries and that, Fuller's have been one of my favourites. They've been part of, my beer drinking career for a long time, and I've always enjoyed them. I once met a dyslexic horseman. He had a cat flap on his head. That's brilliant. He had a cat flap on his head. Who's it owns them now? Didn't they get bought out? I don't know. I thought Asahi still owned Fuller's. Yeah, yeah, the cat flap. That's brilliant. That. Yeah, I think. Well, last I heard who owned Fuller's was Asahi, but Um, I don't really kind of like know much about Fuller's because of where I am. I don't really hear of any news on them. I tend to kind of like concentrate on the breweries around me in terms of ownership and stuff going on. Back in the 70s, when the big boys dominated London pubs, only Fuller's and Young's were in the big Young's. That's a name of the past as well. Young's, wasn't it? I can definitely think the Fuller's were the better brewery than Young's. Um, Young's. What was that stout? The Young Stout. Can you still get that? The Young Stout. Didn't Eagle Brewery or somebody do that? Wells and Young's. Wells and Young's. I did the banana bread beer, if I remember rightly, and I did all the Bombardier or whatever it was. Disco. Asahi own Fuller's still own. Yeah, Asahi owns Fuller's. You know, Asahi. I'll be honest with you. Years ago, Tesco used to stock their black lager Asahi, and it was a really good black lager. I don't mind Asahi. I don't mind their lager, to be honest. I've had worse. Um, Easy drinking stuff, really. Yeah, Asahi's not bad. It's not bad beer um, compared to what you can get. I mean, yeah, um, definitely better than a lot of the shite out there for sure. Um, Young's merged with Wells and close. Yeah, Young's and Wells and Young. And I remember the bowls: Bombardier, banana bread beer, Boondoggle. Was it Boondoggle? Um, God, what else did they have? It wasn't. Their beers weren't favoured at the time. This was before I started reviewing beer, over 10 years ago. The beers weren't favoured. They weren't in favour with a lot of beer reviews at the time. The first generation of beer reviews I'm talking about. Your Terry K's, Biggles reviews. He hated Wells and Young, if I remember rightly, because of the adjuncts they put in their beer. The E numbers he used to go on about, especially with the banana bread beer and stuff like that. And I can see his point. Because I think a lot of their beers wouldn't really hold up to what hold up to the world what it is now. Boondoggle, that was Ringwood. What was that honey beer? What Wells and Young did? Wasn't Boondoggle, was it? Old Thumper was Ringwood as well, wasn't it? Yeah. So about this bit, yes, got a cheeky vanilla on the go from. Yeah, that sounds all nice. Cheeky vanilla porter. Waggle Dance. Yeah, he's done it. Just Disco Beer Review. Waggle Dance, not Boondoggle. When I Boondoggle. I remember Ringwood Brewery. But didn't they get shut down by Marston's, Ringwood? You had Marston's kind of like taking over everybody, all of Sundry, and thought they shut down, shut down every brewery out there. Old Thumper, I remember Old Thumper. That was a good beer from Ringwood. Boondoggle. There's another one I used to like and all, but I can't remember. Can't remember. It was like a pale ale. Oh, it's going back a bit that. But one thing what I do remember is how bad the labels got under Marston's. It does remind me of Hobgoblin in a way. How they kind of like with Hobgoblin before Marston's took them over. They had a real brand identity, didn't they? Hobgoblin. Their labels were brilliant. They had the T-shirts and everything. And as soon as Marston's got their hands on them, they completely destroyed them in a way. And it felt like that with Ringwood because I remember the labels going to really bland and boring labels, especially on the Boondoggle. You had that kind of like goldy looking label with was it Hog? Was that Old Thumper? I'm getting mixed up again. Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? How labels, of certain beers kind of like you do remember, even how dull they were, in a way. So anybody out there who's tried like I say, there's a nitro stout apparently in Aldi, and there is a nitro stout in Home Bargains. I haven't yet to try them, but I will try to get out there. Andy K, afternoon JB, just wanted to say hi. I enjoyed your Spanish videos. Cheers, mate. There's about 2 or 3 more coming of beer reviews out there. What have I got coming? I've got another Cruz Campo one coming, which was. I've got one coming tomorrow. I've got 2 more to come up. That newly built hotel looked top notch. It did, mate. Yeah, it was. The Triton completely floored me what they did to it. Oh God, we're getting loads of Blastman Blasterson. At least all the hair on my body is fake today. Don't know what he meant by that. He's saying my fake too. The Homebones is in my fridge. Is it 149 a can, Andy? It's not for 40. I thought it's just in a 4-pack. Cheers for that. What we got? We got Jennings Brewery to reopen soon. I think they've already reopened. They're brewing all the old Jennings. Snack Lifter was a good one. I like Snack Lifter. That was their strongest, if I remember rightly. And Coco was a good one. Even the normal bitter was great. Cumberland bitter, was it? Disco, The home bar is in my fridge. Yep. Disco asked Jamie, where's he put his glasses? He's up here, mate. Yeah. I've got my glasses on. Up there. I always wear my glasses up there like that now. It's called getting old, you know? Yeah. The Lovelay one, 149. I thought there was another Irish nitro stout there, Andy. Dorothy something it was called. In Home Bargains. Because I remember seeing this picture up on social media about it. Dorothy something, I can't remember. Slurpy Dave says, please not. Cruz Campo, Slurpy Dave. I've had so many variations of Cruz Campo. I've had the Grand Reserva, I've had the Special, I've had the Session one, I've had the Cruz Campo IPA. The last one I've got coming up, I think, is Cruz Campo's best beer, and it's their Radler. That says a lot for them, doesn't it? I think it's coming up tomorrow or Monday night. Cruz Campo Radler. And to be honest with you, I think it's their best beer. Says a lot when you say to a brewery their bloody Radler's their best beer, doesn't it? But I didn't see it today when I was in. No, I haven't been in home. I'm going to go to Home Bargains next week, Andy, and have a look for it. Apparently, there's this Irish nitro stout called Dorothy something in Home Bargains, and there's another Irish nitro stout I've seen on one of the groups on Facebook. I shouldn't really believe what people put up, called Malarkeys, which is a nitro stout in Aldi. I will have a look for that as well. If you see them, mate, tell us. I'll be surprised if you do see them, but I might see them up here. But for living in the north, you tend to be the last ones to get the beer in the supermarkets. Everybody in the south seems to get them before you do, anyway. But I will pick up that Love Lane one, the liver bird on it, the stout, because that looks interesting. I usually dine out on Radlers and Vice beers when I'm in the canals. Yeah, Radlers are, the first quenchers, aren't they? Vice beers, again, first quenchers, cracking. Slurpy Dave says, right, off out now to the Rovers return for some bushy slurps. Cheers, folks. Cheers, Slurpy. Cheers for watching, mate. I haven't got a clue what the football results is. Like I say, Baz at all the being idea must be cheering on. I'll certainly keep an eye out. The Love Lane one, yeah. I mean, to be honest, Andy, I think the Love Lane beers have been a big surprise for me from what they were. I thought, if you look back what they weren't great, were they, Love Lane beers? But since they've kind of like done these other, the Australian one weren't bad. These different beers and rebranded them. I think they're all right. The ones I've had, it's been a nice surprise, and for the money, you can't complain, can you? Me too. Off up the brewery for some slurps. Cheers, Dutch Disco. Cheers, mate. Have a great beery weekend. Cheers, everyone. Yeah. So yeah, the Love Lane beers have been a nice surprise. New England IPA is by far the best. Yeah, it's you, for the money. You can't go wrong with Love Lane, can you? You can't. It might not be, perfect. What beer is perfect for that type of money? But to be honest with you, for me, I'll be more critical buying a big Cloudwater dipper for 7-8 quid than I would be of a Love Lane beer. Mersey Beers, cheers, mate. How you doing? Hope you're keeping well. Nice to hear from you. I thought I'd pop on for an hour or something while the championship playoffs going on, like you do. Neil Morgan, hello, mate. How you doing? Hope you're keeping well. Hope Leah's well. Hope Elvis is well. Hope you keeping well. Nice to hear from you. Just thought I'd pop on for an hour, like you do, and see what's happening. What time is it? I'll stay on for another 20 minutes, maybe. It was good, mate. Yeah. It was nice to get out and actually see a bit of Spain, which a lot of people don't see. It was nice to meet people who 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 were proper Spanish and away from the, shall I say, the commercialism of tourism. Actually go and visit people in cities and drink beer, which isn't widely available in the tourist spots. Go and visit places. It was great to see the real Spain, in other words. It's great to see the real Spain. That's what I like to do. Just get out there, get in the mix, and start to see the country for what it is, as opposed to staying in a hotel, lying in the sun, on the bloody bed, looking at the sky and just drinking Madri or whatever. For me, I need to go out and start to explore more. We're off to Croatia, hopefully in October, so I'll be doing exactly the same. I'll be getting out there, starting to go around the villages, having a look and talking to people, having some proper Croatian beer and stuff, and really getting immerse myself into their country and their culture. And I think for me, I love doing that. I just can't be the typical packish holiday tourist. Just go abroad, sit on a bloody sunbed all week, and go back home. I can't do that. I just can't do it. It's not me. I need something to stimulate my mind and get out there and explore, and hopefully get some stuff and get it on YouTube and bring it to you as well, because I love doing that. I love going out, getting the camera on. I don't see myself as a professional at doing it. I'll just go like get some snippets, piece it together, and stick it on YouTube. Croatia definitely on my boat. It does look awesome. We have found a place just out Dubrovnik, um, called Milne. I think it's called Milne. We're gonna use that as a base, and we're gonna go into Dubrovnik, have a good look around, see what Dubrovnik offers in terms of food, in terms of drink. Have a look around. I haven't got a clue whereabouts we're gonna go. I'm just gonna go have a walk around and see what it offers. And I find that exciting. I find going to places I've never been before. I just find it exciting. Got to see that. Yeah, you got to see the sights. I mean, that's what you need to do. I think the first thing I do when I go away, wherever I go, it doesn't have to be anywhere flash. It can just be Benidorm. I went to Benidorm 2 or 3 years ago, and even though Benidorm ain't brilliant, I went to Benidorm just after COVID, so it was nice and quiet. And we looked where Benidorm was on the map, and we look what's around Benidorm, and you use that as a base. Get out and about, have a good look around, and see what's about. And you know, I find that stimulating. I just find it stimulating. I just find it entertaining. I just find it. That's what a holiday for me is all about, a complete departure from any Englishness in a way, and just to get out there and get engrossed in the country you're visiting. Um, some people don't see it like that. Some people see as a holiday as just going, you know, on a plane with your family, sitting around the pool, drinking beer all day. Well, yeah, if you like that, you like that. For me, I need to just get out there and start, meeting people and seeing the country for what it is, if you know what I mean. Um, and that's the way I roll. That's the way I roll. But it's only since the last, what, 4 or 5 years I've started to do videos while I'm out there walking around and that. Before that, I was just in this kind of like rigmarole of just doing beer reviews, and this is a beer channel, and nothing else should be on this channel apart from beer. But as you get old, as the channel goes on, you start to get a little bit more ambitious in what things you want to do and what to bring to the table on your YouTube channel. So you'd start to do stuff like videos of out and about videos and stuff. And to be honest, I like doing that. Sometimes I like doing it more than the beer in a way. The beer will always be there. All depends on what mood I'm in. Um, I could always stick a GoPro on me and just go out for a walk and do a video for about an hour and stick it on. I'm quite, what's the word? I'm quite blessed. I live in a nice area. I live in the country. I live in a good area, a photogenic area, if you want to call it that. So there's plenty of stuff, plenty of wildlife going on out there for me to put content up. I can go out and there'll be a bird of prey or a barn owl anywhere, and I'll just start filming it and stuff. But no, it's always great to go to different places. It opens your mind towards different cultures and stuff. Um, and when you do pick up local beers and local brews, is whatever it tastes like is a reflection on the area where you pick it up. If it's different herbs, different spices I use in the brewing, it comes out in the beer. And I've found that over the years where you go abroad and you pick up a local brewery beer from where you are, and they'll have something in that beer which would resonate with you regarding the area you're in. So you can pick up a pale ale in Greece, and it'll have some herb that can only be grown in Greece, and it'll be in that beer, and it gives it a very much an unusual quality, and it makes the beer memorable as well. Um, and it's a little bit like the beer I think I've got up today, the one I've got from Cordoba in Spain. It's very unique, and it makes it makes beer stand out in a way. It's like trying wine, I suppose. If you go to different areas of Spain or Australia even, and you pick up certain wines, and you know they will resonate with you wherever you go. Um, anyway, I'm waffling on. It's 4:30. I'll go on for another quarter of an hour. Um, what is everybody drinking, and what is everybody watching, and what everybody's going to be drinking tonight? Put it in the comments. I'd like to know. I might do another live tomorrow anyway. So anybody watching me now, I might do another live maybe midday tomorrow because I'm at a loose end this weekend because we're not doing much. Weather's not great. And we said we'll not do much this weekend because it's the first. It's the first kind of weekend back from being abroad. Um, so yeah, tell me. Oh, buggered off now. Anyway, yeah, tell me what you're doing, what you're drinking, and everything, and stuff like that, like you do. So actually, while I'm here, I'm gonna make a cup of tea. I'm gonna make a cup of tea while I talk to you, because nothing's much going on in the comments at the moment. But we'll make a cup of tea. My preference for tea is a cup of Yorkshire tea. It's got to be a cup of Yorkshire tea. Yorkshire tea's the best. It is. It's the best tea going. Don't let anybody tell you that it isn't. Because Yorkshire tea, don't matter where you're from, even from Lancashire, Simo, if you're watching this, and I know you're in Lancashire, Yorkshire tea is still the best. It is. It's good gear. So put a bit of milk in, like you do. There we go. Put a bit of milk in. I'm watching the football, going to carry out with my Vault City stash. They've got, excuse me, I've got my glasses. They've got 33% off at the moment. I finished when that cream caramel's 14%. Vault City, I'll tell you what, Vault City, it's hit and miss with me, Vault City, because some of the flavours, some of the ideas they have been brilliant. They've been brilliant. I remember the cereal cruncher thing I did last year. It was brilliant. But it's a bit like a lottery with me, Vault City, because some of the beers work, some of the beers don't. And I think that is down to the style. When you're talking sours, very defined flavours, they either hit you or they don't. But, I've got a lot of respect for Vault City because they are the big players in the genre now in this country. But I'll tell you what, when you go to America or you get American imports of sours, totally different type of beer altogether. They're like bloody smoothies. And there's only been a couple of Vault City beers I've had like smoothies. The one in Sainsbury's, the Jungle Juice. Is it Jungle Juice? That was brilliant. Brilliant beer, that. Brilliant stuff. Highly recommend you to go and get that if you haven't tried it. It's like a smoothie, literally like a smoothie beer. I can't remember how much it was. It wasn't much, about £3.50. It was worth the £3.50 anyway. It was. So Andy, if you're having a Vault City, and you haven't had it yet, try that Jungle Juice or whatever it was. Jungle Juice, whatever it was. I think it was Jungle Juice. It's like a big smoothie thing with pineapple and papaya and stuff, and it was cracking. Really, really good. Really, really good sour. For me, that's what a sour should be. It should divulge you in flavours, which sometimes a flavour which you may not necessarily like, but it works. And for me, sour beers do that. A good sour does. Bad sour, it's too tart, too acidic, and gives you a kind of like gut-wrenching gut ache for for how many hours? I don't know. Right, couple of Yorkshire there. What time are we? Quarter of an hour left from this, I think. Now I'll do another one tomorrow if you're about. Um, yeah, Jungle Juice. Try it, mate. Try Jungle Juice. I liked it. Like I say, sour beers very divisive for me. You either love them or hate them. Some people will love certain ones. Some people will hate other ones. Um, yeah, I mean they are pioneers in that genre. Vault City. I remember the one with the glitter in. I can't remember the beer with the glitter in. Did it last year or year before? That was pretty special. That was different. I usually try a few more from Dark River in Salisbury. Yes, I will be, mate. My local bottle shop's getting them in. I have done a couple on the channel, and they'll be getting some in actually. They're getting some in as I talk to you now. Maybe next week. Um, yeah, I've heard some good things about them. So yeah, they'll be coming up. I haven't bought any yet. The ones I've got coming up. Over the next couple of weeks. Actually, I've got four. Oh, what have I got coming up? Mill Brew Company based in Leicester. I've done one of theirs, and that's a new brewery to me. AM Brewery, EYAM Brewery. I don't know if you've heard of them. They're based in the Cotswolds, I think. And I picked up another track beer, and it was a red IPA, and I can't remember who it was collab with. But I was talking in my bottle shop yesterday. I was talking to the owner, and they usually give me a list of the beers they're getting in, or show me the list of the beers they're getting in, and Dark Revolution is on them. So I will do some more Dark Revolution. Pipeline Brewing Company is another brewery I like to get my hands on and try their beers as well. So there's plenty of beer coming on. There will be plenty of beer. At the moment, as it stands, I've got about 2 weeks worth of reviews recorded at the moment. The last of the Spanish reviews is on Monday. Then we got some stuff which has been hanging around for 2 weeks next week. There's been a beer Baz sent me from All the Beer No Idea. I'm doing that next. Well, I've done it, but it's coming up next week. So there's a loads of stuff which I haven't done. Uh, there's a Titanic Brewery video I need to do. I haven't done it yet. I'll keep going on about it. Dave's in. Hello, mate. All right, comrade. How you doing? So nice to see you doing well, mate. That's crap. I just saw the viewing figures for your unboxing. That's amazing. That's about half a bloody Stalingrad watching you, mate. Bloody brilliant, though. Brilliant, mate. That's what, to be honest with you, when I heard about this Russian thing going on, I thought to myself, nah, Dave's doing all right. I saw this bloody unboxing video. I clicked on it. Was it last night? It gained about 1,000 views in an hour. That's bloody mental. It's mental that. 1,000 views. You got half bloody Stalingrad looking at you. No, kudos, mate. Keep doing it, mate. Keep playing them out. That's what you need to do. Neil Walker says the jungle juice is like a fruit. That it is dangerous stuff, mate. It is that jungle juice. I like it. I think that's a great beer myself. I think it's a good one of the best Vault City releases for a while. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Good old day. If anybody's on this watching this stream and haven't subscribed to the Urban Viking Hour review, please do, because for me, the Urban Viking Hour review is not just a beer reviewer. He's up there with me. He's up there with Terry. He's such a nice guy. Sorry, Dave, I'm gonna burst your bubble here. He comes across as a hardcore metalhead in his appearance and in his introduction, but he's one. You can see he's one of the nicest, genuinely nicest guys you'll ever see on beer reviewing. He's brilliant, and I've always been a fan of him. So it's brilliant stuff, mate. It is, but it's mental. It's mental. I tell you what, you'll have freedom to Moscow. You have the key to the city of Moscow by the end of the week, I'll tell you. Full C, big sale this week was like third off, not still on. Cheers for that, Mercy. Thank you, mate. thank, thank you for that. Thank you for tagging me, Dave. All lies. It's not lies. It's not lies. You're gonna have the key to Moscow by the end of the week, Dave. I guarantee you, you'll have the key to Moscow. You'll be bloody unhinging Putin by the end of the month. Anyway, Andy Kay says, all right, Adam, yeah, 32% still on at the moment. Think they're crowdfunding for their new one. Yes, and it's worth for some of the big impies. Yeah, listen to these people. I'll see if my fat head can bridge a peace treaty. Yeah, you might be able to do it, you know. Knowing you, the way you've got a rapport with the Russian people, Dave, I think you just get yourself down to Ukraine, you know, muscle yourself in there, put Zelensky in his place. I'll tell you what, you could actually bang out a peace treaty the way you're going. You bloody could. You could be bloody. You could be. You could. Honestly, you're a Russian oligarch. He's a Russian. Got loads in, mate, including the impies, according to Andy. Yeah. So yeah, go and sub to the Urban Viking Hour review. Definitely. Saw that Homebug said Budvar Dark now in 500ml cans. Then us. Ooh. Oh, that sounds interesting, Mersey. I'm gonna have to look. I'm going to go to Home Bargains next. Mersey, if you're watching, have they got a nitro stout in called Dorothy something? I can't remember the name of it. There's an Irish nitro stout. Apparently, Aldi are doing one called the same style called Malarkeys. Have you heard of them doing a nitro stout in home bargains in a pack of 4? Let us know. And I'm not talking about the Love Lane one either. I just can't remember what it's called. If you've seen it, tell us if you've seen it. If I haven't, well, yes, it's an actual Irish brewery, but it's only in a 4-pack. That's all right. Cheers for that, mate. So there is a nitro stout in Mersey Beer says there is a nitro stout in Home Bargains. I thought I was right. I'm gonna go down there and pick one up. Dorothy Black. That's it. Picked up this. How much was it, Mersey? Be under 5, wouldn't it? Be about 4.50 maybe for 4 of them. And there's Aldi apparently have got a nitro stout in a 4-pack as well. So it's a trip to Aldi next week and a trip to Home Bargains next week for me. Joe Scarl, hello mate. Drink malt liquor, only malt liquor. I certainly will. Mersey beers, £5.30. That's a bit steep for Home Bar, but yeah, doesn't matter. I'll pick it up anyway. I do like a good nitro stout, but the best one I've had is the Wensleydale Brewing Nitro Stout Dark Horizon. If you can get hold of that, that is an absolute banger. 5% nitro stout, brilliant. Yeah, it's not bad. I'll pick that up next week. Pick that. I haven't been in. I must be in Home Bargains for a while, like. I'll definitely pick that up. 10 more minutes on this stream, maybe. Yeah, 10 more minutes. Yeah, I'll definitely pick them up. Definitely. Too interesting to ignore, really, aren't they? And to be honest with you, maybe there'll be always uh, the video comparing it to Guinness as well. Maybe. I would imagine nitro stout with nitro stouts. For me, you know, they've kind of like no, quite thin, but no, you know, there's always whenever you see one you haven't tried before, always have to make a beeline for it. Joe Skull says, "Who's my football club?" Oh, that's a tough question. Well, it's not a tough question. It's a question I don't really like to say much because, you know, Joe Skull, he's most probably a Man U or Arsenal or Man City or big, big, a big kind of like goes for the big clubs For me, I've got to say, I'm a scummer. Joe Skull, I'm a scummer. Okay? I am a Southampton supporter. I'm a big scummer. Yes, we're shit, but you got to have a sense of humour in there. It's got to be someone who supports them. Dundalk Brewery, it is. That sounds interesting. I've done some great beers. I did Sullivan's Brewery, Mersey. If you had anything from them, that was a great nitro stout from them. Um, Guinness said they were short on stock. It's amazing how many nitro. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I'm a saint. Yeah, I'm a scummer. Yeah, it's not a great thing to. It's it's not something that I'm proud. Well, I am proud of to be a scummer. I am a scummer. You know, at the end of the day, it's not our problem. Our team shit and our club shit at the moment. But at the end of the day, I mean, the away support Southampton have had all season. It puts a lot of people to shame. And to be honest with you, we've got such a great sense of humour. Yeah, expectation ain't high long as we beat Pompey next season, who gives a shit? You know what I mean? You go back a good few years ago when we had Mane and Schneiderlin, and that was a hell of a team. That reminiscing now. Yeah, the Red Nitro, that was nice. That was nice. As some of the Sunderland beers, very nice. I want to try the O'Hara. The O'Hara's Nitro for me. I thought that was brilliant. I thought the Nitro, even the Red Ale, was brilliant. Sunderland have just made it 1-1. See, I work in the northeast of England, and I work in Gateshead, which is a bit of a no man's land. Well, Gateshead isn't no man's land. It's near Washington. That's a no man's land where you've got you know, where you got the red and whites and the black and whites, and of course, me being a southerner, I love the banter anyway. Um, yeah, O'Hara's. I thought O'Hara's Nitro Stout's better than Guinness. I think it's better than Guinness. I thought it was really, really good to be honest. Um, and I've had the O'Hara's Irish Red. That was great. That was a great beer. I did enjoy that too. Um, I've had I've had Sullivan's. I've had four beers from. I had a bottled IPA as well, which was really good as well. Great brewery, Sullivan's. It's a shame we don't really get enough of them over here because there's some great breweries in Ireland. I'm trying to think, was it Whiplash? Whiplash still going? They were a great brewery. They were fantastic. So I'm enjoying my Yorkshire tea, which is very very nice. Yes, I do like Murphy's, Andy. That's a great beer. That's nice. Northeast Derby is a tasty option than Sheffield against Lee. It is. But let's face it, the biggest derby in the whole wide world, and Scott Review Sings would agree with me, is Saint Pompey. Nothing beats Saint Pompey. What am I drinking later? I have got Titanic Brewery. I'm gonna do a comparison between the plum porter and the cherry porter. Hopefully, I haven't drunk the plum porter since I last reviewed it years ago, so I'm looking forward to that. Got a couple of supermarket ones, and Adnams double dry hot pale ale, I think, or IPA from Sainsbury's in a can. And what else have I got? I've got a track red IPA as well, which I'm looking forward to. So I've got plenty of stuff to bring to you, like I do, because I love doing my beer reviews. Whiplash Steelbout, loads of Bullhouse Brewery. That's a name, Bullhouse Brewery. I'll have to look that up, Mersey. Bullhouse Brewery. I'll have to I'll have to look that up. I mean, I'm not familiar with Bullhouse Brewery. Um, Like I say, I'm not that familiar with a lot of the Irish breweries. It's only when Trembling Madness have got them in and that. No, they haven't. I've got the normal plum. It'd be interesting if they did do a nitro plum. And I've got the cherry porter in bottles. Picked up bargain booze, I think. Brillas Brewery in Belfast. That's interesting. That. Yeah, that's interesting. I'll definitely look out for them. Always nice to look out for different breweries, isn't it? Like I say, I think I've missed out on a lot of Irish breweries um, from where I live, when I go to my local bottle shops. I think they don't stock a really a lot of sites. Was it the White Hag Brewery? That's another brewery which has slipped through the radar for me, um, which I need to to try as well. So, ooh, that's different. Nitro Porter Titanic released it last year. I'll have a look. Last week, sorry. I'll have a look for that, mate. Yeah, that sounds interesting. That I do like Titanic Brewery. They're a pretty solid brewery. Then was it the Iceberg Pale Ale? Was it? I can't remember. I think it was something like that. Beaker top notch at the moment. And Beak, and from my neck of woods, Lewis down in Sussex. Haven't had a big beer for about 6 or 7 months, and they're going from strength to strength, and they Beak. They did some big collabs last year. I did one with Verdant, which I didn't pick up, and I should have. Great brewery, and I love the artwork as well on their cans. Beak. I've always loved that artwork, that simple type artwork they have on them. But the beer's always been top notch as well. Um, Rolling Papers, Bullhouse flagship beer. It's in New England. I will have a look for that, mate. Rolling Papers by Bullhouse. Definitely. Right. I better be off because I need to feed the pussy. Need to feed the cats. So thank you again for jumping in. Thank you, Mersey. Thank you, Andy, for watching. And Neil, yep, I'll be back on tomorrow sometime, maybe about 11ish for an hour or two. So Neil, Mersey, Andy, cheers for commenting on this one. If you're around tomorrow, just check in on us and we'll have another little bit of banter and that. Thank you again for commenting. Everybody who's on this one, thank you again for commenting. I'm going to feed the cats now, and I shall see you again on maybe on another live tomorrow. So take it easy, everybody. Good to hear from you, Neil. Take care, bud.